in the land of the free, a silent storm brews. Across generations, we were promised liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. Yet today, those promises feel increasingly hollow. For millennials, who came of age in the shadow of 9/11's, surveillance is not a choice. It's a condition of existence. Generation Z, the digital natives, have never known a world without the quiet hum of monitoring systems watching, logging, controlling. And for Generation X, the dream of personal freedom they once held dear now flickers faintly, eclipsed by the relentless march of restrictions. We see it in legislation that prioritizes power over people, in the shuttering of reproductive rights, in laws that threaten to rewrite the boundaries of bodily autonomy, identity, and expression. Across the nation, voices are stifled, protests policed, and books banned. It's not just freedom that's at stake, it's the soul of democracy itself. The erosion of civil liberties doesn't happen in one swift stroke. It's a slow bleed. A court ruling here, a policy there, until suddenly we wake up to find the rights our ancestors fought for quietly stripped away. For millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X, the question is not whether these freedoms will impact us. It's how deeply they already have. And as we share memes about dystopian futures, we may not realize how close we already are to living one. It's time to ask, how much freedom are we willing to lose before we say enough? Across the United States, the American dream has become a luxury fewer and fewer can afford. Millennials, who grew up hearing promises of prosperity, are now drowning in the reality of stagnant wages and mountains of student debt. Generation Z enters adulthood with the crushing awareness that their paychecks won't stretch far enough for rent, let alone the dream of homeownership. And Generation X, once heralded as the backbone of the economy, faces rising healthcare costs, inflation, and the fear that retirement will be a distant mirage. The cost of living has skyrocketed while wages have stagnated, leaving an entire nation scrambling to make ends meet. Housing prices soar into the stratosphere, rents reach historic highs, and the simple dream of shelter becomes a battle for survival. Healthcare is a gamble, not a guarantee, as medical bills become the leading cause of bankruptcy. And for every dollar earned, another is spent on basic necessities. Groceries, gas, utilities, all rising in cost with no end in sight. This isn't just an economic crisis, it's an emotional one. Millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X find themselves asking the same questions. How can we save for the future when we can't afford today? How do we build families, careers, or even dreams when we're constantly running to stay afloat? The system feels rigged, the deck stacked, and for many, the frustration is turning into quiet despair. But amidst the uncertainty lies a flicker of resilience, a hope that the generations who endure these struggles will rise to demand change. The U.S. economy teeters on the edge of transformation, and for millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X, the stakes couldn't be higher. These three generations stand at a crossroads, each carrying the weight of economic challenges that threaten to define their lives. Millennials entered adulthood during the Great Recession, carrying scars of layoffs and shattered dreams. Gen Z inherited a world where side hustles are essential to survive, and job stability is a relic of the past. Generation X, caught between caring for aging parents and supporting their own children, struggles to maintain a shrinking middle class. Inflation climbs. Wages lag. The gap between the wealthy and the rest grows wider by the day. Automation and AI loom on the horizon, promising efficiency but threatening livelihoods. As global economies shift and traditional industries crumble, the anxiety of an uncertain future seeps into every decision, career paths, investments, even the decision to start a family. For many, it feels like the rules of the game have changed, but no one bothered to share the new playbook. And yet, within these challenges lies an opportunity. Millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X are connected in ways previous generations could never imagine. Social media amplifies calls for change, and movements for economic reform gain traction. The power of collective voices could reshape the landscape, but the question remains, will we seize this moment, or will we allow ourselves to be swept away by the tides of inequality and economic uncertainty? The future of the economy is uncertain, but one thing is clear, what happens next will define us all. And so, we stand here, at the edge of history, staring into the depths of what we've become, civil liberties, once the bedrock of our identity, are slipping away slowly enough for us to ignore, yet fast enough for us to lose. The cost of living has become an unbearable weight, crushing dreams before they even take flight. And our economy, with all its promises of innovation and progress, feels like a machine designed to grind us down instead of lift us up. Millennials, Generations D, and Generation X have inherited a storm, a perfect collision of crises that demand answers. Yet, as we fight to stay afloat, a haunting question looms. Is this it? Is this what we've built? A society where freedom is a memory, survival is a struggle, and the future is a question mark. The weight of this moment feels unbearable, but perhaps that's what makes it pivotal. Across generations, we share a unique power, the power to change course, to refuse complacency, to demand more than survival. We have the knowledge, the connection, and the resilience to rewrite the story. But the clock is ticking, and history is watching. What will we do with this moment? Will we let it slip through our fingers, or will we rise together to build something worthy of the sacrifices made before us? This is not just a crisis, it's a choice. And so we must ask ourselves, is this it? Or can we imagine something greater? The answer begins with us.